Welcome to Startup Teardown's Marketing Edition, where we pull back the curtain on startup marketing and tell you what's really working and what's not. I'm Ryan Rutan from Startups.com, joined by Tom Dewhurst and Tristan Gillen, founders of Growth Division and GrowthX, and we're here to give you the unvarnished truth about the marketing campaigns, landing pages, and email sequences that startups are putting into the world. Every episode, we're diving deep into real examples, dissecting the good, cringing at the bad, and learning from the downright ugly. No sugarcoating, no holding back. Whether you're a founder trying to crack the marketing code or a marketer looking to hack into the startup space and level up your game, we're breaking down exactly what separates the campaigns that convert from the ones that crash and burn.
We've got a super interesting startup today that hails from Portugal. So I live in Lisbon, Portugal. Honestly, the way that they're approaching just their website is already super interesting. So today we're going to be going into their homepage and tearing it down. Just to note, Tom and Ryan don't know who we're doing this teardown for. I've done a little bit of preparation around this, but they have no idea. So this is the first time they're going to find out who we're tearing down, and they're going to go into it and wing it. So I just went to rose.com, and where am I? I'm inside a product. Interesting. Yeah, so this is the homepage. There's no landing page, there's no marketing type of page at all. You're literally going straight into the product. I guess first thoughts, Ryan, what's this make you think about?
Sure. So look, I've got kind of a snap test that I do when I'm looking at a landing page or a home page, which is, who are you? So is there a clear brand and category displayed to me? What do you do? The plain English or whatever local language is, value prop. Who is it for, right? Do I get the ICP at a glance? So do I know it's for me? And where do I go next? What do I do? So this one's, I'm not going to necessarily be able to evaluate on that rubric because we were just jumped straight into the page. So help me understand, is this exactly what I would see if I arrived for the very first time? So table one is up there?
This is exactly what you would see. You go straight into the table. So I guess there's some level of familiarity with it. So you
Sure.
know that this is some sort of spreadsheet tool. So I guess that's, already indicative of what the startup does. But you're right, there's no brand. There's nothing that kind of screams out like what this exactly is about. So there's quite a lot of uncertainty. So you basically have to kind of just go in and start playing with the tool.
I'd be interested to see whether you could Google Rose spreadsheets. I'm just interested to see the user journey here from probably what you would search initially and then what you land on. So
yeah. I wanted to understand the context as well. Like, what do we see before we get there?
Okay, because this is essentially, to your point, Ryan, here, like the information that you have as a user as to who's it for, what is it. But then, it's a really interesting user journey then to go straight into the product without any more context than that, really. And if you refer to it, you'd obviously land on that homepage. So
my instant reaction as someone who's lived on the internet for a long time is, okay, so it's Google Sheets, but not, or maybe it's some better version, or they're trying to tell us, right? This is an easier way of doing that. So look, as a denizen of the internet, I would show up with some level of context for what this is attempting to do. All right, so we can jump back into the tool then.
Yeah. And so I suppose the obvious one that I've got as a bit of a pushback here is SEO, right? I mean, we just Googled directly for Rose, but if you're trying to find a shareable spreadsheet, I don't believe this can be possible to have any metadata assigned to this that will help Google identify what it is.
But you kind of have to navigate through the onboarding to be able to actually come to what is a more traditional homepage, right?
So this would be what we would consider a homepage, and that's their /product page. Okay.
And that is super small in terms of like links and user journey.
Clearly, I think they want people to just get into the experience and start using it. So my guess is, and we can start to click around and play a little bit, my guess is the magic is in the experience. Think about your first experience with ChatGPT, right? There was no preamble.
Yeah.
It was just a blinking cursor in a box that said, hey, talk to me. And then eventually they put in some helper prompts because people were just like, well, what do I say to this thing?
It doesn't wow me initially with visually, it looks pretty simple, and maybe that's the point, but
it's a little bit basic. And I think that was my impression when I was like playing around with it yesterday, was like, what do I do? Where do I get data from? What's my next step? With this sort of AI analyst chatbot on the right-hand side, there's something for me to do over there that, seems kind of interesting and tells me a bit more about the tool. I think the bit that actually excited me a bit more was when I could see the data actions, and then I've got all of these familiar tools down here, and I start to understand, actually, this could be useful because I can pull in my LinkedIn pages or Facebook pages and get insights. So this is actually a level up from a traditional spreadsheet or Google Sheet. So this bit got me a bit more excited about the tool and I wanted to start playing with it at this point.
Yeah, I think, again, so much of this, the value of a page like this and getting people started quickly is going to depend on what context they had when they arrived. If I just assume, which I did from what we saw on the the Google entry, which kind of to Tom's point, it might be very hard to come up with that search result if you don't know that you're looking for rows. But based on the context we had coming in, I was expecting a better spreadsheet because that's sort of what they were promising, but I didn't really understand exactly what that meant. Anytime we're doing marketing, like we have to at least try to approximate or understand, guess if we have to, what the user's context is coming in. Now, in a proper marketing funnel, we should know what brought them to this page. Maybe I'm too much of a benefit of the doubt kind of guy, but when I see something where like a page like this feels like a total afterthought, it's like, oh, well, they just land right here. My first assumption is this is probably an afterthought for a reason. They're probably not using SEO. They probably assume no one's going to land on this page first. They know that they're out there doing YouTube video after YouTube video or influencer after influencer, and they're driving traffic to a specific page or a specific funnel, or there's some preamble. Maybe there's an email course they sign up for first that walks them through 7 or 8 steps before this ever happens, right?
I've just been, checking out their website. This is the first time I've seen it, doing a bit of research quickly behind the scenes. And yeah, they have got social media accounts that kind of all seem firing. So to your point there, Ryan, I think they are expecting people to see the product in action and see influencers, videos, use cases. And then, this kicks them into the tool directly. So by this point, it's not the experience that we had, which is quite a cold one where we haven't been driven to it by an ad. But users are more familiar with what the tool's about.
Let's play with that for just a second. So we did see when you came back in incognito mode that there was there was a welcome experience. There was a little bit of onboarding. It gave you some little bit of tooltip type thing, which is cool, but it seemed pretty generic. So what would be amazing, and maybe they already have this, and maybe we just haven't landed on that experience, but if I do come in through a highly contextual path, which is like, hey, I'm doing retargeting across 3 different platforms, and I need to be able to pull data in from all 3 of these ads platforms and start to make sense of it. Awesome. Some content brings me there. It was a YouTube video, it was an SEO piece, something that brings that level of context, brings me to a page. What would be awesome is if that onboarding experience and those examples that they pulled together were directly aligned with that.
You also want the email flows and onboarding email flows to be tailored to that experience. So if they know that you're a marketer, they want to promote the fact that, you can bring in your LinkedIn data, you can bring in your Instagram ads data. You want to have that very specialized and personalized experience when you're onboarding both into the tool and through marketing experiences such as email.
Absolutely. Right. And so it's the thing. When we start with very little context and then we jump somebody directly into a tool, we don't have much we can follow up with either. So not only is their initial experience a bit watered down, if nothing through that experience gave us additional context, how do we follow up?
And interestingly, even on the sign up page, I think they're missing a trick potentially in telling you anything more here. You're really just taken from a spreadsheet to sign up, and you're not given again any real understanding of what the value of actually signing up is. Why should I sign up? Why should I give you my information?
It could be a very, very bold move with this, which is to not have a website and essentially use their other marketing channels to generate that kind of awareness and interest in the product and just go straight to the product. And I think, when we look at the channel mix that they've selected, they have gone very heavy on the social media. I mean, you've got all these different channels that, are being used for top of the funnel awareness and intent building. And so by the time you even get to the product, you're in the mix of it. And actually it's a bold move. I actually like it.
Here's where a funnel like this works. When I've done something and I've had that magical, meaningful moment in the tool, and now I don't want to lose it, right? I got some insights, I got some really cool stuff. It structured my data, something cool happened, and then it jumps me to sign up and it's just bang, bang, bang. I'm in, I'm hooked at that point. The product is the hook. I don't need to be chased any further. I don't need to be wined and dined. But I think we have to be careful here because there is such a thing as too bold in these moves and just asking for too much too soon, right? Being bold is fine. I don't want to be abrupt.
I think overall they're doing a really great job. I love the fact that they're using this product as their homepage. And I think it's a really innovative way of bringing people into their products and giving them a customized experience with the products onboarding. Thanks for watching. Remember to follow myself, Tom, and Ryan on LinkedIn, and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you have a growth idea or a startup that you want us to do a teardown of, feel free to comment below or send me a DM on LinkedIn. Catch you next time.